Yes, my people, what are you man telling me? So right now I am on gold. I am on the 1 hour time frame, and we can see that we've had a MSB over here. So we are trading from this protected low and this weak high that we like for price to run. And right now internally looks like price is in a pullback, and potentially we might start what's it called? Be making higher highs and higher lows. We even have a higher time from SBS where this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, 4, and then the 5. And if we double check, we have tapped into this area of interest here, which is a wick fractal. For those of you that know, it's just an area of supply and demand on the lower time frame, and we can see that we've had a nice reaction from it, and hopefully we start to make higher highs and higher lows. If I draw up my fib from this low to this high, we don't quite tap the fifth. I mean, you could say depending on how, I would say we don't quite tap the fifth. We don't. It really depends on you. Um, in terms of 618, we don't tap the 618. So I mean, I would say price is at least in an area of discount where I can look to buy if I really want to. And yeah, so if you just head over to our 5 minute time frame, we can actually see that price is bearish based off the SMAs and obviously based off structure. So what have we been doing? We have made a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we failed to make a new lower low, but we ended up making a higher high. So we technically have flipped from here, and obviously I can wait for price to potentially take out this high, and then I can look for potential longs. The reason why I'm not going to use that area is because, remember, there's a bullish and bearish setup everywhere, and you can easily say that there's bearish SPS where that's your 1, that's your 2, that's your 3, 4, 5. So it's very easy to get caught in the internal mess, because remember, this was our last bearish zone. Yes, I understand that we did kind of close below this one here. However, all of this here is untapped. We took out some people's liquidities. We are technically still below the SMA, so I gotta wait for price to disrespect this high over here first, and then I can start looking for potential shorts. Until then, you know, primarily I should not be looking for what's it called, longs, until price gets above the SMA, and obviously we take out this internal protected high. So now that's out the way, I mean, if I do go to my 1 minute time frame, price makes much more sense in terms of we've kind of closed below this low, we've flipped past that high, then we've now flipped again. So now technically, if I want to take a trade, I mean I can, based off this zone over here. And obviously we can see that price has pulled back, tapped into something, and we end up taking out the high. So like, if let me just delete this in the background. So if you just zoom in, I mean, you don't have the cleanest SBS, and sometimes these things are going to happen. But that's your 1, that's your 2, that's your 3, 4, 5. And we can see how we tapped into this area of interest here. Again, this is an area of supply and demand. Once you understand that these wicks, are an area of supply and demand, then price makes a little bit more sense. You could also say that this is SBS model 1 as well, depending on how you see the potential markets. If we drop my fib from this low to this high again, we don't quite tap the 618. We do come very close. Again, maybe on your charts it might have wicked it, so you might have been able to get in, but I know at least we have tapped the 50%, so I know that price is cheap enough for me to start looking for potential longs. So, and we are obviously above the SMA, so that's now played out. We've now taken out our previous higher high, which is over here. So now I can draw up my new zone from this area here. But I also understand that potentially this protected low could also be a liquidity point where price might want to sweep this and then continue to make higher highs and higher lows. If I just go back to my 5 minute time frame, we can see that we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Hence why that 1 minute protected low could end up being a higher time frame SBS. But if you just go over quickly to the 1 minute time frame and I just let price play out, we okay, so I mean, again, you could say SBS model 1, where this could be the 1, this could be the 2, this could be the 3, 4, 5. And obviously you can see how price pushes up. We actually do take out this high here, you know. So now if that has been taken out, and I understand that this is my protected low, price should continue to make higher highs and higher lows. And then what's happened? We also took out this high over there. You see that? And obviously now I understand that this is now my protected low. Price should respect this low and continue to make higher highs and higher lows. We can see that we just wicked it, and what's happened? We have taken out this high. So in terms of possibilities and trades, there are trades everywhere. You just have to be able to train your eyes to see it. And again, like if you look carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, price shoots up. We tapped into this unmitigated move origin, and then even here you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Price taps into the unmitigated move origin, pushes up, and within all of this, we are above our 200 SMA, guys. So there's a lot of continuation trades that you could have potentially taken, which could have helped you, taking a trade. If we go back to our 5-minute chart, we can see now we are above our SMA, and now we have just kind of closed above that high. Let me just double check. Yeah, so now we have just closed above that high. So now I'll go away and see how price reacts off our SNDRs, on mitigating move origins. See if price actually wants to head on higher. But obviously now we have gone past our trading time. Obviously we're in the pullback phase now. Let me just clear my charts here. We're in the pullback phase now. Potentially price wants to tap into something and obviously push higher. But let's now go to FOMC. So you can see how nasty that wick was. Bearing in mind I'm on the 5-minute chart. So if I just go to my 1 minute, you can see how nasty that wick was. You can clearly see how price is now taken out many lows. You guys can see that for yourself, and then when you go to our 5-minute, price done the same thing. Nasty wick, took out a lot of people's lows, because a lot of people on our higher time frame were bullish. But when you look at your higher time frame, all price has done was just tap into this unmitigated zone here from this market structure break over here, and obviously you had your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tap the the 200 SMA, and obviously you can see how price has now taken out our previous high. Again, if you draw out your fib from this low to this high, we have clearly tapped the 618, and obviously price has delivered that 1.6R. So if you was using a 1 hour time frame to now potentially look for a trade, obviously I don't recommend it, then you would have got yourself a winner based on your 1 hour time frame, based off market structure, based off the SMAs. Besides that, I would have not looked to take anything else on the lower time frame. I wasn't even on when all of this happened. But yeah, we had a nasty wick, and if I just let price play out again quickly, so now I know that this is the news candle high, and then this is the news candle low. Sorry, this is the news candle high. So we tend to, so what normally happens is we tend to sweep both new candle high and news candle low, high and low. Not all the time, but one side will at least always get swept, and you can see that happens, and you can see how we also sweep out the low. So if I just clear out my charts again and I go to the 1 hour chart, would I say that price is bearish? Not necessarily, because we're still above the SMA. I mean, you can say that prices failed to close above this high, but we still need to take out this protected low over here. So in my eyes, price is still bullish. Yes, you might get below the SMAs. However, unless price disrespects this protected low, overall I'll still be bullish. And all I got to do is just wait for price to get above my SMAs, and then I can start looking for potential longs again. Obviously, due to the news candle, it has messed up the lower time frame structure. But now, based on my 5-minute time frame, because we're below the SMAs, I'll be looking for potential shorts. And if I go to my 1-minute time frame, it is the same thing. We're below the SMAs now. We have even closed below this low over here. Whoa. We've even closed below this low over here. So now I can look for potential shorts based off the SMA, and obviously based off potential structure, because at one point this was my protected low. Price, closed below this protected low. So yeah, price is currently now bearish in my eyes. And as we go into Asia, let me just go on the 5-minute chart. Hurry this up, sorry. Let's see what's going on. Let me go on the 1 hour. Sorry guys. Okay, so as I said before, on the 1 hour chart, price needs, as long as price respects its protected low, I am still bullish. Yes, we got below the SMA, but straight away we've gone back above. So now potentially prices wants to continue higher. Again, if I go to my 5-minute time frame, we were below the SMAs. As you guys can see for yourself, we were below the SMAs. We did actually close below that low. We pulled back and we actually ended up taking out our previous lower low, but it wasn't enough, to continue to make lower lows and lower highs. If I go to my 1-minute time frame, it is pretty much the same thing. So we can see that on our 1-minute time frame. So where we was before, as I said, we can draw out a new zone. After we close below this low here, you can see that price does pull back. We tap into this area here. We had a nice reaction. We had a nice reaction going back down, and then we actually, like I said, we actually end up taking out our previous lower low. We are below the SMA. So yes, if you want to look for a trade potentially maybe within this internal structure here, where that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you can see now we're above, so potentially you might not take that, so you might wait again. We close below this low, we close below this low, and you can see that's your 1, that's your 2, that's your 3, 4, 5, and you can see how price dumped. So in terms of news, I mean, I would have stayed out of it, but after it there was trades, before it there was trades. Overall, like I always say, once you follow structure, once you follow the SMAs, and those are your green light, after those two align, all you have to do is look for areas of interest, look for let me get my notes out very, very quickly. All you got to do after is just look for your areas of interest. So that's unmitigated zones, higher time from zones, SBS, SNDRs, unmitigated mover regions, fractals. Are you in a premium and discount? Support and resistance, trendline breaks, failure swings, RSI divergence. So, and then after that, we look for entry confirmation, whether that might be the 618, whether that might be CSS, whether that might be the IB entry, SCE, whatever it may be. And then even on top, now we have trailing. We have the RR fib, if you guys know about that. Swing points, where you're just marking out internal swing points, moving your stop to internal protector lows, And obviously the SMA, if you go to Dave's YouTube channel, he has a video on how you can show your stop with, I think it's the 9 or 21 SMA. I don't remember, I don't use it, but it's there. And as long as your rules are all in place and there's nothing you're going against, then so be it. But yesterday looked like a good day, besides it being FOMC. Again, I didn't actually trade yesterday, but it is what it is. Always remember that victory belongs to the most tenacious. Wherever you're in the world, I'm wishing you guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. And I'll see you lots tomorrow. Peace and ciao.